Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, just got off Thriller TV with GCW NGI 8 and the Gage Invitational 8, the Deathmatch tournament they held 8 years in a row now. The end of this so much reminded me of Bash at the Beach 96, when Hogan turned heel and all the trash that got thrown in the ring. And it really wasn't that big of kind of any type of huge heel turn. It was just Shane Mercer coming out and helping Blake Christian, and the disregard hate that everybody gives Blake Christian now. And it was just chucking water bottles. I'm like, this is Bash at the Beach 96. But oh yeah, great show. Deathmatch tournaments are definitely a cool, different atmosphere from what we saw last night at AEW Worlds End compared to what we saw here tonight. There was one similarity. We had a flaming table, and somebody went through it. I mean, hey, people are mocking on GCW these days. You know, they have to do that on AEW now. Alright, so Deathmatch tournament, we had 10 participants. We had 4 first-round matchups, then we had second round, then we had the finals. And we tossed in a little scramble match in between to kind of give the guys a rest before their third death match. And then we always love doing scrambles in GCW. If you're new to Perfect Sports Show, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel. Definitely at 304 subscribers now. I want to get to 400 by the end of 24. 1 year from now. I've reviewed every single GCW show in 2023, and that will continue in 24 as well. Alright. Risa, Sera versus Masha Slamovich versus Emersyn, Jayne was the first match in the death match, the triple threat. The second one was Murdoch, Fatu, Lloyd. And then the next two were Miedo, Extremo versus Shane Mercer, and Violent Jack versus Ciclope. Those were the 4 first-round matchups. And that first one, a triple threat women's death match. It was incredible. Masha Slamovich can wrestle all different styles. So these other fantastic wrestlers in this match. A lot of tubes got involved. This match was actually a Ultraviolent Jungle of Death 3-way match. So it was good. Again, a lot of tubes. I think it was a gusset plate or two. Didn't get a lot of glass in it. When I'm watching these death matches, just hitting each other with tubes doesn't do a lot for me. When you start adding the glass and things are done kind of methodically through the match, that's where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that works there, kind of deal. And typically I kind of rate these based on that as well. This match, Masha Slamovich got the victory. I ended up giving it 3.5. In the second round, she would face the winner of Murdoch, Fatu, and Lloyd in the Barbed Wire Warefare 3-way death match. Lots of barbed wire in this one. As it's in the name. Tables covered in barbed wire. Doors covered in barbed wire. Of course, we had tubes as well. I hope Brett Lauderdale gets a discount when he buys all these light tubes for all these shows, but yeah, I'm just hoping we're not just running down to Home Depot and getting them. Seeing Fatu in a death match was kind of like, what? As athletic as he is, same way with the broski, Lloyd. When they start doing their scramble style dives, and you're doing it in a death match, and you got one of the deathmatch kings out there, Murdoch, just hardcore in it, and you got Fatu swinging light tubes, and it's like, all right, I really wanted Fatu to win this, but we ended up having Murdoch win. Ended up giving it 3.5. Definitely good, overall good match. And that sets up now with Murdoch versus Masha Slamovich in round 2. All right, in the next first round matchup, we had one of the Japanese guys. Some of these names is hard, it's kind of difficult to pronounce. He's supposed to be on tomorrow night's card. Let me take a look here, tonight's card on the Aftermath. I'm not sure who it was now. Unless he's in the Scramble, the Rumble match. I'm not seeing him. Anyway, he missed a flight. Was supposed to get into Atlantic City later, so he needed to replace. They put Shane Mercer in his place. Going up against Miedo, Extremo, one half of Los Macisos. This was a opening round glass death match. Yeah, this had a lot of glass in it. But Shane Mercer getting jobbed, basically, it seemed like, by Miedo Extremo. And so it was like, okay, and then Miedo getting the victory there. I ended up giving this one 3 1/4. It was okay, really short, probably the shortest match. I think it was the shortest match of the night. Just it didn't seem like Mercer was ready for it. I mean, like they even said he found out 30 minutes before the show. So I hated that for him, but he took the loss here in Miedo Extremo. Next up, we had Violento Jack and Ciclope. Yeah, now Ciclope and Miedo Extremo are tag team partners. So you had, this was a running boards of brutality death match. So lots of boards with barbed wire and glass, and they take soda cans or beer cans and cut them in half so the jagged edges, and then they glue them to a board. There's lots of those, and that looks like it can hurt. Everything they use in these death matches looks like it could hurt. I mean, think about it. If you cut a can in half and just put your hand on it, it's like you'll cut yourself. It's like, but they were putting those around, and then you had Violento Jack coming off the top rope on a Ciclope onto these things. These guys, I guess, years ago, I think they said 7 or 8 years ago, had a feud in Mexico deathmatch scene. Haven't really wrestled each other since. And now here they are, more mature, more, better at their game, and now they're wrestling again in a death match. It's like, holy cow. This match had a flaming table. Or was it the next one that had the flaming table? Yeah, they kind of ran, both these kind of ran together, all these death matches. Okay, this was the one without the flaming table. This is the one that had the ladder. We had Violento Jack ended up just annihilating Ciclope with tubes and everything. This, to me, at the time, was match of the night. 3 3/4 stars. Violento Jack getting the victory. A lot of brutality in this one. Next up, we had John Wayne Murdoch versus Masha Slamovich. The first match in the second round. A doorway to destruction death match. Yes, doors were involved. Doors with barbed wire were involved. Glass was involved. Light tubes were involved. Everything you think of for a death match. But both of these went out there, and honestly, I thought it was a rocket match. Masha Slamovich, I mean, watching her be Impact Knockout Champion, AEW Women's Champion, oh yeah, GCW Champion, oh yeah, she wrestled in a death match. I'm actually surprised that she hasn't gotten taken up by WWE or even AEW. Just having that almost, I'm gonna say monster of a woman, but just somebody go out there and she can wrestle too. It's not just the hardcore shit she can do. She can wrestle, and it's like she needs to be more in TNA, more kind of as a knockout champion, more prevalent on the shows. But John Wayne Murdoch was able to get the victory over her here, so I ended up giving it 3 1/2. One of my favorite matches of the night, the final Escalera de la Muerte death match, Miedo Extremo versus Violento Jack. This match got super stupid hardcore. Violento Jack went to super kick Miedo Extremo, caught the referee. Obviously, we all know when referees get knocked out, what happens. Ciclope, who lost to Violento Jack in the last round, is the tag team partner of Miedo Extremo, so he comes out, gets involved. They ended up setting up a table and cover it in lighter fluid and lit her on fire. Ciclope went up the ladder, Ciclope did a powerbomb on Miedo Extremo did a powerbomb on Violento Jack through the fiery table to get the victory. Before that, he went up the ladder, did the swan dive off on him. The Los Macizos just took out Violento Jack there. Exactly a 10-minute match, which was kind of weird. Not 10-minute, not 10:01, not 9:99, 10 minutes. They got a lot of death stuff in, but the fact that they lit the table on fire, I'm like, hey, AEW did that last night. And Nick Wayne, who used to wrestle in GCW, went to the table. But Miedo Extremo got the victory there, and ended up giving it 3 1/4. Next up, we had our standard 6-way scramble match. We had GCW champion Jordan Oliver going against Cole Radrick. going against Lucha Libre star Gringo Loco. GCW Extreme Champion Joey Janela. I had forgotten all about the Extreme title. Even Veda Scott was like, hey, where's that title been? They thought it got lost in some party. Apparently he still has it. And I forgot all that. They crowned it last year. Joey's the only one ever to hold it. So even Veda Scott was like, I want to talk to the title, see where the title's been. And then her husband, Speedball Mike Bailey, and then Mr. Danger. Now, Speedball wrestles without shoes. Veda Scott was telling a story during the intros that she packed shoes for him because of all the glass. Because even when you sweep the ring with the glass, there's still going to be pieces of glass, fine pieces of glass. Because if you think about these light tubes they use, go to any store that has the fluorescent lights, any retail store, those lights are going to the ceiling. That's literally what they're using in these matches. So if you break one of those, I've shattered them before. I used to chuck them in the dumpster at work and just let them explode. Who knew going from that to watching death matches where they use these tubes? If I'd known that, I'd have saved them up for him. But yeah, so he didn't end up wearing shoes because he was okay with it, I guess. And Mr. Danger, who earlier this year did a dive spot off a ladder that was insanely crazy. But yeah, nice Scramble match here. We ended up having Gringo, Loco, and Mike Bailey battling one another, but against everyone else. If one would do a dive, the other one would do a dive. Bailey did his kind of almost 450 knees, or whatever you want to call it, where he flips up and does a knee drop on people. He did it on a guy was on the shoulder of another guy. Well, on the other side of the ring, you had Gringo Loco doing a hurricanrana off the top of the guy holding the guy. My God. You had Bailey doing a backflip while you had Gringo doing a front flip on the people on the outside. It's like, holy snap, that's wild. Ended up giving it 3 3/4. Jordan Oliver got the victory there in the Scramble match. Then we had the Nick Gage Invitational 8 final glass ceiling 2.0 death match. And that's exactly what we had. We had 2 structures set up on the outside of the ring with ladders across the top and panes of glass on there. Then they had different structures sitting around inside of the ring that they could bring in the ring, put glass on. We'll get to that one. And then you had tubes all the way around the ring. So the first 2 minutes, they're just grabbing tubes off one side, just hitting it, walking down, grabbing a tube, hitting each other, just like took the whole side of tubes off. Then they started fighting on the outside. They set up a glass pavilion on the outside, and it looked like it was like sawhorses. One of them goes, I can't remember which one went through it. You had a fan sitting there just holding his phone like, this is normal. There's a guy going through a glass table right in front of me. I'm going to video it. This is normal. And you had finally a John Wayne Murdoch climb up. You had Ciclope, Extremo, set up sawhorses with a glass table in the ring, while John Wayne Murdoch is climbing up on the structures on top. So they're kind of fighting on top, and there's literally planes of glass. John Wayne throws Miedo Extremo through the painted glass, again above the ring. He crashes through that to the one in the ring, crashes to the mat. John Wayne Murdoch jumps down, goes to pin him. He kicked out like that. I didn't mean no sold the shit out of that. I'm like, okay, you gotta sell the pet, don't you? I mean, I thought it was cool. He jumped up, and I'm like, in the crowd erupted, of course. I'm like, in regular wrestling, you no sell like that. People get mad. I don't get it. And then you had 2 guys, the ring crew, bring in these 2, I don't know what you want to call them. They looked like shelves, and they were kind of straight up and down like this, and they had slots in them. They had 2 of them. They're like if you think of like a bookshelf, the holders. So they set them up, and they set a pane of glass here, a pane of glass here. Okay, this is going to get ultra-violent. And then you had Miedo Extremo powerbomb John Wayne Murdoch through both panes of glass to the ring, which is obviously covered in glass, with them gears light tubes laying down there. And that's how he gets the pinfall. 3.5 star. Miedo Extremo gets the victory there, wins the NGI 8, which gives him a title shot tomorrow night tonight versus Blake Christian. And afterwards, you had Blake Christian come out and attack Miedo Extremo. You had his tag team partner, Ciclope, come out. Then, so you had 2-on-1 kind of with Blake Christian. And then a guy in a black hoodie comes out and attacks Ciclope and helps Blake Christian, takes his hood off, and it's Shane Mercer. And this arena just starts chucking stuff in the ring. Again, Bashes beats 96 level and chucking stuff in the ring. I'm like, and they're not even that, I mean, they're fans of Shane Mercer, but it's like he just completely did a heel turn. He's helping Blake Christian. We hate Blake Christian, now we hate Shane Mercer. So yeah, the fact that Miedo Extremo went through this Hellacious Deathmatch tournament last night, tonight to get a title shot versus GCW champion Blake Christian. Now that we have Shane Mercer in Blake's corner, how's that going to affect? It's going to be wild. Most years they have on afterwards, the last match will be the first match of the next year. So the Best of GCW 2023 Showcase of the Independents will happen sometime tomorrow after I finish all the shows up, because there's a there's a JCW show today, and then there's afterwards tonight. So get those in. We'll review the afterwards tomorrow, and then do the best of, start the Showcase of the Independents. So that is Nick Gage Invitational 8 review. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. It's 50 Day Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports show content.